Hello, friends. The crew of a Ukrainian Yak-52 training plane, which looks like it's straight out of a World War II movie, shows us how they spend their days intercepting Shahed attack drones and Orlan reconnaissance drones over the Odessa region in southern Ukraine. To accomplish their mission, they have to work as a team by getting close to the target, at which point the passenger uses an Mi-4 rifle to shoot down the intruders. This mission is very dangerous because if the Shahed operator sees them approaching, he can make his Vulture attack them, or even worse, make it explode, destroying the defender. A couple of Yak-52s have already been shot down by these Russian tactics, so the Ukrainian pilots must act with great caution to successfully accomplish their objective. Now, if the invaders claim they have air superiority, how can these museum pieces not only keep flying, but also send their nice reconnaissance drones straight to the scrap heap? A Ukrainian Bulava loitering munition, which is the Ukrainian copy of the Lancet, identifies and attacks a TOS-1 heavy flamethrower system. The impact causes the accidental launch of one of its thermobaric rockets, one of which hits and deputinizes the logistics vehicle accompanying it, which was also surrounded by orc artillerymen. 2 vehicles for the price of 1. Now that's an efficient use of military resources. In this footage, we see how a long-range Russian multi-purpose drone, called Gerbera, is launched against a mobile Ukrainian air defense group. But luckily for the Ukrainians, the explosive charge didn't detonate. Although the Horde's Vulture carries a relatively small warhead, only 5 kilograms, a successful hit, would probably have ruined the day for the anti-aircraft gunners, since the impact was very close to the vehicle. Recently, multiple incidents have been recorded in which the invaders launched their long-range Shahed and Geran drones against Ukrainian mobile air defense groups. But now it seems that they are also using the Gerberas, which are more economical, to clear the way for their long-range cousins. The invaders are debuting the new season of anti-drone defenses on their T-90M tanks, which they have called, in a very poetic way, I must say, dandelion grills, which are made up of rigid steel cables that have been unrolled and then welded onto a large metal structure, so that poverty isn't noticeable. Ivan has also installed multiple rows of ERA contact reactive armor blocks mounted on chains, with the goal of protecting the vulnerable joints between the 2 turrets and the hull, while still allowing the main weapon to rotate. Honestly, it makes sense. The dandelions are lightweight and cover an important section of the perimeter, while not being as heavy as full armor plating. The contact is also logical, since it allows you to deflect the explosion from the anti-tank warheads of the mosquitoes. We'll have to see how the contraption performs to evaluate how well this armor works, although it seems that Ivan has a lot of faith in it. The attack mosquitoes of the Ukraine's 225th Assault Regiment have been very busy neutralizing the assaults of mixed assault groups of the Horde, which include squads of motorcyclists supported by Ural trucks, carrying a large amount of supplies and ammunition. The idea seems to be that if the motorcyclists manage to clear a path for the truck, the supplies they carry will allow the forward positions to be sustained for at least a week. Does it sound good in theory? Unfortunately, in practice, the defenders countered this theory by unleashing a dense swarm of mosquitoes that gradually thinned the column and neutralized the few orcs who reached a building. If Ivan keeps attacking like this, meeting the monthly quota of 50,000 demilitarized invaders won't be a problem at all. On the technological front, Firepoint, the company behind the successful Flamingo cruise missile, is making progress with an air-launched variant of its FP-9 ballistic missile, which is currently launched from the ground. It has a range of 855 kilometers and carries an 800-kilogram warhead, which is expected to undergo its first combat tests in the coming months. If the company manages to develop an air-launched version, it will be able to immediately and significantly increase its range, as well as achieve even greater speed by taking advantage of the altitude and speed of the carrier aircraft, which significantly improves its chances of penetrating the advanced air defenses of important targets, allowing precise attacks against high-value targets deep within the Horde's territory, such as air bases, production facilities, and energy infrastructure. The only limitation is that because of its size, only certain aircraft would be able to give it a significant range boost. Immediately the launched version, and also the chances of penetrating defenses if the company manages to develop a more advanced version of the launched one, taking better advantage of the carrier if the company improves it. Russia continues to use North Korean troops in its war against Ukraine. In this footage, we see a group of North Koreans leaving Moscow's Sheremetyevo International Airport and boarding Aero Express company buses around April 16th. This seems to be new troops arriving to reinforce the Horde's war effort. Since late 2024, Pyongyang has sent approximately 11,000 soldiers to work as artillerymen, carry out reconnaissance missions, and conduct support operations for Russian offensives. Apparently, regular rotations are taking place, through which thousands of North Koreans have already returned home with combat experience, while new groups replace them. This process illustrates two strategic realities. First, the chronic labor shortage in Russia, which is now being filled by foreign recruits. And second, North Korea's willingness to exchange soldiers for economic aid, food, energy, and advanced military technology. For the rest, replacement. For Kim Jong-un's regime, the Ukrainian front has become a live-fire training ground. For Moscow, it allows access to a disposable force multiplier. On the naval front, the Alpha Special Operations Center of the Ukrainian Security Service launched its drones to attack 3 Russian Navy warships in Crimea. These would be the landing ships Yamal and Azov, along with a third unidentified vessel. The operation also targeted a classified patrol boat, the specialist in fighting against tactical diver groups, a MESM-1 radar station, the antenna complex of the Dolphin communication system, and fuel storage tanks at the Yuktorson oil depot. These attacks further weaken the Russian Black Sea Fleet and its ability to conduct amphibious operations or sustain logistical support for its forces on the peninsula. The landing ships in particular represent key assets for transporting troops and equipment, capabilities that are being systematically degraded. Ukrainian drone attacks in Crimea have plunged the Russian Navy into a state of widespread panic, since the Russian diesel-electric submarines stationed at the Kronstadt naval base near St. Petersburg are being equipped with improvised anti-drone defense systems. Images reveal that the Mosaisk and Dimitrov submarines have been equipped with armored metal structures over their sails to protect the delicate antennas and periscopes, as well as heavy 12.7mm machine guns and spotlights. Floating barriers have also been deployed in the port to block incursions by naval drones such as the Magura or Sea Baby. If you want more content about the war in Ukraine, visit our 2 new channels where we share information in a different format. Be sure to check them out. Remember to visit our Patreon, where, for just $1, you'll have access to a large number of uncensored videos and documentaries. Lastly, visit our store, where you can find items inspired by some of Ukraine's most outstanding units. Carry history with you, and with every purchase, you'll be supporting the United 24 program, which directly supports reconstruction programs, aid to the civilian population, and defense. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel.